I'm Victoria Hanscom, editor of Security Journal Americas, and I'm here in New Orleans for GSX 2025, speaking with Joshua Douglas, who is Senior Vice President of Product and Engineering at Xtract One. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing super fantastic, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, great to see you. So I want to ask, you have two screening solutions in the market. How do they help to solve some of security's biggest challenges?
It's a great question. So as you know, we started out with the Smart Gateway. It's really about all the low personal belonging environments. So when we think about, not schools, but more like sporting venues and casinos that maybe we have like a theater, or maybe you're even going to like the ER, where people basically have phone, wallet, keys, watch, and maybe even a little clutch purse or something like that with them, and where they want to be able to detect threats of varying different sizes, and thinking about like, smaller knives to guns or other items. That is where the Smart Gateway plays best. Where we think about the Xtract One Gateway, there was a hard problem to solve, and that was, how do we make it so that people with 3-ring binders or laptops or maybe even like musical instruments, schools and corporate offices could get through in their daily life, but we could identify those mass casualty weapons like handguns or large blades. And so they have different purposes ultimately, and it comes down to the use case of the customer, and it makes it really nice that we can provide it to them, because at the end of the day, we don't want to make schools and corporate offices feel like prisons or the airport and doing TSA security.
Yeah. So what are some of the evolving trends that we're seeing in the industry at the moment, and the main conversations, and particularly here at GSX? What have you heard?
That's a really cool thing to talk about, because today we've had all kinds of people walk through, had hospitals, manufacturing, distribution places all come through, and each one has a unique perspective. I think they all want to detect threats, but at the end of the day, they also want to understand their mean time to ingress. So they don't want to take things out of their pockets, and they don't want to take things out of their bags, and they don't want to put them into X-rays, because that's invading people's privacy. They ultimately want to keep like corporate environments secure, and the executives. They want schools, the teachers, and the students to be safe. But we're starting to see a trend where it goes beyond security, and they're really thinking about that mean time to ingress. Like, how are we going to make the secondary security screening better? How are we going to make it so that people can get through ticketing as fast as possible? And I think that we're starting to see that converge, where we're not just talking about security, but we're talking about the overall experience.
Yeah, and what about some of the biggest opportunities, though, in the security industry? Where do they lie that allow you to innovate?
Yeah, so what we're seeing for ourselves is probably a couple of areas for us. One is, that sporting venue or theater where people don't want to not only take their ticket out or their phone out to do security, they also don't want to do that when they're getting through the ticketing process. They want to go through both security and that ticketing experience as seamless as possible and get to their seat. The other thing that's also coming to fruition is on our distribution and manufacturing locations. We're seeing a convergence of security and theft come together. And that's because a lot of those places want to make sure that when we have people walk through, let's say, the Xtract One Gateway or the Smart Gateway, that we identify weapons on the way in, but on the way out, they want to make sure that people aren't stealing things. And that could be data on a laptop. It could be that they're looking for theft around iPods or AirPods or whatever kind of pod there may be, and they want to make sure that those are kept out of the hands of thieves.
Yeah. So thinking further ahead into the future now, how will Xtract One continue to grow? What's on the horizon for the company?
Yeah, so we've been doing quite well. The Xtract One Gateway just came off the manufacturing line not too long ago. We have a lot of schools that are very interested in it because students don't want to be encumbered. We're seeing a lot of corporate offices want to keep their executives safe. The other thing that's really expanding for us, since we do the blade detection, which I'd say is differentiated from the other low personal belonging environment solutions, is that the European and even the APAC area is really expanding out for us, because those individuals want to make sure that we can detect not only guns but knives, and that really is their central threat.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It's been great to speak with you.
Thank you.